Let's go, let's go, let's go, and welcome to the Art of Music Tech Podcast. I'm your host, Fela. Over there's my business partner, Dennis.
How you doing, guys?
All right. And again, today, we're featuring the Cali Audio IN-8 studio monitor. Let's go. This is a 3-way monitor. And unlike the LP6 that we reviewed and went over earlier, you could put this one on its side.
Yes, I love it like that.
You could put this one on its side any way you want to, and you still have the great boundary EQ.
I think you can even put it upside down too.
Yeah, any way you want it. And you still have the great boundary EQs on the back with the toggle switches, whether it's on top of your console, on a table, hanging
against the wall,
like hanging from the wall, against the wall. So the great thing about all of the Cali speakers is that they're near field, so you can be in a nice, close, tight space. And if you don't have that much room, I think it's like a few meters.
2 meters, right?
Yeah, 2 meters.
Is,
and you get the full thing. And you get the full frequency range, rather. This is all about frequencies with the IN-8. The LP6s are great entry-level studio monitors. But with the N series, Cali just took it to another level, and it's really for people that are really going deep into mixing, because
recording, yeah.
Your mid-range on these speakers are like...
That's why they're 3-way.
Yes. You hear stuff that you can't quite hear on those LP6s because you just don't have that diaphragm there. So,
yeah.
We could get more into the specs.
But first quote from Cali website again, the Project Independence, that's the full name for this speaker, and these monitors are most innovative studio monitors ever made, which means they went hard, different approach, they rethinking design, amps. I'm sure. Actually coaxial monitor where you have the tweeter inside of mid-range. I don't think anybody else is doing that. So
yeah.
So that's one thing about these monitors, right? So combining 3-way design with hyper-realistic imaging of coaxial mid-range and tweeter, they offer more transparency, lower distortion, and soundstage that must be heard to be believed.
Hey, you can hear it. These things are in your home studio as of now. But we do a lot of work over at your place. And,
we have multiple post-production rooms now, so
exactly. So we
must have more than one pair.
We're doing this podcast from our studio, where we have the N5s that are in studio, which we're gonna do another podcasts on that because they upped the game again. But these N8s came out last year, or like a little over a year ago, and wow, they're just knocking everybody's socks off when you hear these things. It's heavier than definitely the LP series, which is a given. As it should be.
A great product must be heavy.
Yeah. You definitely feel that 3-way and the heaviness from it, and, the extra technology that's inside, but it's very much worth it. But what's the pricing on this again?
They start at $349. And the frequency range is 37 hertz to 25 kilohertz, which means you get even more low end versus LP6. The mid-range is, I would call it crazy. Crazy sounding mid-range, because you can hear...
You hear stuff you've never heard in mixes before.
Yes.
That you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was going on. Yeah,
Yeah, your vocals don't get lost. Guitars, the mid range that you were missing all this time. You were mixing or recording,
and low end.
Low end,
because this is the 8-inch. We still have the LP6s,
which is 5,
which is 6-inch.
6, okay.
And this
makes
with
sense.
with the 8-inch driver,
has more power.
That low end gives it more power. You get more power in the mid range to be able to really tell what you're doing.
And separation between low end and mid range and the top end. You hear elements separately, but yet together, of course, because you hear from one speaker, 2 speakers rather.
Yes, these are just my favorites. I mean, everyone keeps on getting to be my favorite. I think the N5s are,
but I have to say
way
that
up there too. So
if you're in the market for a 3-way monitor, you have to spend around $5,000 for a pair.
It can go up to that.
Yeah, and I know if you can afford it, that's great. But
yes,
if you buy these and buy much more equipment that you can, build your studio with and produce proper mixes or recording, I think you should go with these and invest in more. I don't know, cables.
Definitely.
Preamps, compressors.
Yes. For us, with these monitors, this is what we use to mix for the Atlantic Records clients, and the clients that we need the highest amount of detail for. This is where the IN-8s have come in handy for us as a company. And personal listening too.
Personal listening,
it's always amazing.
I mean, we own
is audio files.
We own 2 pairs of amazing expensive speakers, like hi-fi speakers, and expensive. Another pair is pretty damn expensive. But we put these 3 ways next to those, and they still kick ass.
Yeah, totally. And it's just a great. We have the other hi-fi like you mentioned, but these are great equalizers between this, and a good old car listen.
But after you mix on these,
the car thing isn't even an issue anymore once we go through those two sources. This is pretty much it. You're right. I don't really listen in the car as much like I used to.
It's an honest speaker.
Yes.
It's an honest speaker.
Super clear, super honest.
No extra coloration, just flat.
Yeah.
If you add more top end, well, you're gonna hear more top end.
And and again, your inputs are 1/4-inch TRS, RCA, and XLR. I mean, what else do you need as far as your input?
Is there more connections available on the market? No.
Exactly.
They got everything.
It has all 3 that you would possibly need. And you have your boundary EQs, just everything you need and for whatever environment that you have these speakers in. This is the
update from upgrade rather from LP6.
Yeah, but this isn't for your entry level engineer. This is definitely if you really need detail and you're sending this out to clients. This is definitely what we would put out there. We would, you're
already making money. Well, you should invest in a great product to make
more money.
More money, and with these speakers, you'll be able to make decisions much quicker and get to what you need to get to in no time.
Very true. Very true. So yeah, I mean,
these guys are from California, actually.
Yes. Yes, American designed and engineered. So,
Cali. I was wondering why Cali, and then from California.
So, and it's also the goddess of war is Cali. So,
true.
Yeah.
I literally read it yesterday, or a couple of days ago.
Yeah. So, and my niece's name is Cali. So that's I definitely knew what that name came from. So and I was very interested just from when I heard the name of it. I was like, wow. And they're going to war with good audio. They're making things happen at affordable prices, and they're just super impressive. As an audio engineer that's been able to hear different systems all around the world and stuff. So yeah, check these out. The Kali Audio IN-8 studio monitor speakers. They won't disappoint.
No. And yeah, we'll add the link in the description to purchase from our store.
Yeah. You could go to One of One, and that's spelled out ONE of ONE Productions.com, and you could just hit that button store and check out the IN-8s. Man, yeah, these things are they're just so killer, and I'm glad we found this company. So yeah, check us out on One of One Productions.com, as well as 23 dB Productions, and that's a 2-3, the number 2 and 3 dB Productions.com. We'll have all that information in our summary below for the podcast. And more information on the Kali Audio speakers as well. Thank you, everyone, for checking out the podcast. And from Dennis, myself, and from the One of One Production Studio in Fort Lee, New Jersey, let's go.
Let's go, guys.